Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of September 20th. We're going to jump right in here, Pisces, and we're going to see what's coming up for you. We're going to take a look at your current general energies in this first row. We're going to look at anything unexpected that could be coming up for you in your second row. And then we're going to look at best advice for Mercury retrograde. The retrograde starts on the 27th, so I thought, why not? Let's get some advice on what the hell, how the hell do we survive these retrogrades, right, Pisces? But let's see here. At the end, I'm going to try to remember to pull 3 yes or no question cards, and I will give you time to answer those. If you don't have questions, I will just be putting those cards all together. But if I remember, again, we're in Mercury shadow, so no promises, Pisces, but I did my best, right? Pisces, here in your current general energies, you have this Into Me I See card, a major introspective energy here in this first row. I'm going to clarify these rows as we go along. I am very surprised that the Hermit didn't come up. What I will say is you basically have the Hermit right here. Strength, 8 of Cups, and the Hangman. If all those cards were to smush together, that would pretty much be the Hermit in a lot of ways. Strength, he's climbed to the top of the mountain, right? He has gone through something that requires patience, strength, and introspection. Hangman, he's made sacrifices maybe along the way. 8 of Cups, walking through darkness, trying to find his inner light. Boom. There you go, Pisces. So basically, Hermit energy is what I'm getting here off of this card, and also this top row right here. So it wouldn't really surprise me if you were kind of feeling very introspective this week, if you were just doing a lot of Pisces thinking in general. Probably a good idea, anyway, to do that. You have the Strength card, the 8 of Swords, and the 4 of Swords here. I feel like this is what you're trying to do. I feel like you're trying to get out of a situation with the 8 of Swords. Like I said, we're gonna clarify, and I'm gonna ask, what is the situation? What is the situation that you're trying to move past here, Pisces? But 2 8s like this, 5 of Swords, definitely trying to get out of, kind of like a straitjacket is what I feel here, Pisces. So I do feel for a lot of you, maybe it's making you a little crazy. whatever situation you're stuck in is, it could be a lockdown. It could be the lockdown for a lot of you, depending on where you live. But for others, if you aren't experiencing a lockdown in the same way, then it could be something else that you're trying to free yourself from. I really feel that this has forced you to face some of your inner demons with the Strength card, but I also feel like it's kind of been building a lot of strength. And again, I do feel like now would be a good time for thinking with the 4 of Swords. 4 of Swords is a card of meditation. It has a lot of meanings, but that's kind of like what I'm feeling for you there, Pisces. So let's clarify this, and let's see. With the Strength card, 5 Wands, is a card of strength. 5 Wands to me is a card of going through something difficult, but there's a reward at the end. I think that's something, people need to remember about the 5 Wands, is it is a card of conflict and competition. But it's if we overcome that, we usually experience a reward or an award, whatever it is that you're looking for. I always call this card Indiana Jones because to me it represents going through some sort of crazy adventure and getting something good on the other side. Part of me feels like this is just encouragement from the universe. Just saying, keep it going, keep pushing, you're almost at the end. With the 8 of Swords here, you have the Knight of Wands. I mean, makes sense. Wanting to spread your wings and fly, Pisces. There are wings here on the head of this thing, whatever this is. I have no clue. It's a lady with wings on her head. Then there's a whale that is flying right here, Pisces. And there's a bird right here. A lot of wing imagery here in your readings, and that's kind of what I feel you want. I feel like you want this freedom of the Knight of Wands. The problem with the Knight of Wands and the 8 of Swords is restlessness when the 2 cards show up together. It's we know we want to do something. We know we're feeling restless. Knight of Wands, we know we want to go on an adventure. We know we want to create something or build something. 8 of Swords, we're feeling stuck and trapped we can't. Again, straitjacket type of feeling is what I'm feeling here in your first row. With the 4 of Swords, you have the Ace of Swords. Definitely some sort of victory coming in for you here, so there could be freedom. Even in the area of the unexpected, you have this Voyage card, a lot of cards that represent freedom so far. So I feel what's unexpected is some of you could actually be being set free at this time with this energy. I do feel that for some of you, you could be receiving communication here, what I would say to you here as well is there could be like something that someone says to you this week that kind of releases you as well. It's like for some of you, I kind of feel like some sort of obligation to another person here. Kind of a weird message, I'm not going to lie, Pisces. But for some of you, it's like maybe you've been feeling like, I feel like this black cloud over me kind of energy here. And I feel like it's almost like they release you. You know, they could be coming in with an apology. They could be accepting your apology. I'm getting like all these stories running through my head. But if you've been dealing with some weirdness with a person, I feel like there could be freedom here. In the area of the unexpected, you have the voyage card. So some of you could be literally traveling, and it could be very unexpected because maybe you're on lockdown. Maybe you're not allowed to leave or something like that. For others, I just feel like there's just like random travel coming in for you. To me, that's cheating, Pisces, because, looking at your astrology, Uranus in your third house is, you could talk all day long about how the third house is about communication and all this other stuff, but to me, it can also be a travel house as well. So with Uranus in your third house, you could have a very strong desire to move, travel, move around, just, discover new things. Freedom is going to become very important to you. I mean, I've been talking about this for like 2 years, Pisces. It would not surprise me if a lot of you Pisces are like moving around, traveling, doing those sorts of things more than you normally would because of Uranus in your third house. So it doesn't really surprise me. Next, you have the Eight of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles here. I feel for some of you, it's like you're walking away, you're choosing to cut something out of your life here that no longer serves you, and I do feel like it could be unexpected. There could just be a better offer coming in for you here as well with the Ace of Pentacles. I also have a strange story popping into my head here, Pisces, where I feel like you're saying no to something with this energy. I know that's not a very exciting message for you, but I feel like there are things that you would normally say yes to, and it's like you're saying no to something that you would normally say yes to. It does feel like love to me. Like maybe people would normally approach you in love, and you're just like, oh, finally, someone to love me, right? Typical Pisces. I get it. I'm a Pisces, right? And I feel like you're just kind of either saying, no, I'm not, I don't want it right now, or you're saying, maybe you're just saying that you're just not in the space to accept love or whatever, because I feel like I just get the sense of like someone approaching you and you just know it's not right. I feel like saying good for you because I do feel like some of you, there is a lot of kind of like that loneliness here, especially with this top hermit row. Like I was saying, some of you I feel could like have a strong desire for love, but it's almost like you're saying no to an offer that's coming in for you here this week. For some of you, I feel like you've already received an offer from a person, and I feel like normally you would entertain like any offer that comes your way. And, I always tell people not to be too picky in love, but there's a difference between, like, being picky and just, like, letting every single person into your life, And so I feel like you're just making sure, or you're just saying no to a situation that isn't right for you. For others, I feel this is some sort of victory. It's like you took a risk recently, or you're about to take a risk, and I feel like it's going to pay off very handsomely for you with this Ace of Pentacles. Let's see where this goes, Pisces. And let's see what kind of reward this could be. With the Eight of Cups, 4 Wands, some of you could be, kind of like walking away from a connection. I feel like you've already been walking away from this connection. So, if you're going through a divorce or something like that, that would make sense. Also, I feel like this is tied into that message where I feel like a great sense of release. This, without even getting to the slash row here about the retrograde, I do feel this retrograde could have something to do with like a person almost releasing you. And it feels like an obligation to me. That's the best way I could describe the energy. And for some of you, it could be a person you're married to. For some of you, it could just be like a boss or a mentor or something. I just feel some sort of obligation where it's like I feel like I have to do something. It has that type of feeling to me. That's the best way I could describe it, Pisces. And I feel like you're being released from that. 4 Wands is a card of freedom. 4 Wands is the card of freedom in tarot. So, one of, I should say. But definitely a very good card for freedom coming in for you. With the 5 of Swords here, 8 of Cups. Basically, the universe saying I meant what I said. It's like you're walking away from things that no longer serve you. And boom, Pisces, Hermit. Right there. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. I feel like you are being rewarded for a difficult journey that you've been on. Something that has been, very introspective. A lot of thinking, Pisces energy that I got here right off the bat. And so I feel for a lot of you, you're finally kind of like being rewarded for, the energy that you put into things, or the things, if you've been doing a lot of thinking, I feel like you're being rewarded with that. For some of you, I do feel there is new communication coming in for you as far as love is concerned as well. But like I said, for some of you, I get like this rejection thing popping into my head where I feel like you are going to be rejecting a person, not in a mean way. Just like I feel like you're just going to be saying, I don't want love right now, or I'm not ready, or something like that. So that could be for some of you. Next, in the area of what this retrograde has in store for you, how to survive it, you have this message in a bottle card. This card always reminds me, it's like the message is in the bottle. So it's like you have to break open the bottle on this card. That's how I always read this card. I don't think that's how that's like the actual meaning in the deck, in the book that comes with the deck, but I read intuitively anyway. And I do feel like this is saying, make sure your communication is very clear at this time. Make sure you're not kind of like sugarcoating things or wrapping things up, basically, is what I'm getting here with this card. You have the Hangman, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups here. I feel like you need to keep pushing forward for sure during this Mercury retrograde. Four of Cups reminds us that like we are making progress, but maybe just not in the way that we think, or maybe it's smaller, or maybe we're being led in a new direction. So, specifically for those of you that are working like on projects, business projects, work projects, or towards specific goals, just be, this to me is just saying go with the flow, allow for the flexibility, allow for things to happen in the way that they want to happen. Don't try to force things to happen, right? With the Four of Cups. I do feel some of you could be discovering some resources during this time. I always tell people, make as many mistakes as you possibly can during the retrograde, because not only do we get past a mistake like 1,000 times faster during a retrograde, but we also actually learn from it like 1,000 times faster as well. So I always tell people, make as many mistakes as you possibly can. Start as many projects, start as many relationships as you possibly can during a retrograde. I know that's the opposite of what everybody else says, but again, based off of what most astrologers say, they want you to just lay in bed the entire retrograde. We have to live our lives. Basically, if we listen to the advice that most people give, we would be in bed for like 4 months out of the year. So, basically it's very unrealistic. What I would say here is get out there, make mistakes, because like I always say, it's like you don't have only one good idea. You have millions, Pisces, so I would be trying new things. But the Queen of Pentacles is like discovering a resource, and I do feel some of you could be discovering a resource at this time. You have this Hangman here as well, so, to me, as always, retrogrades are amazing times for education and learning, so I would just, learn something new. You'll probably be very successful. Let's clarify this, and let's see where it's going, Pisces. With the Hangman here, you have the Six of Swords. I do feel some of you are kind of like moving past something. Major rite of passage energy here. Six of Swords, a Hermit here as well. Even that Eight of Cups here can represent some sort of rite of passage, or, going through something difficult to get to the other side. So I like to see that. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Tower. I would be careful of Tower moments. I would be careful of, spending your money. Definitely during retrogrades, it's like, I would be careful of what you spend your money on. I would just double check. Again, I don't think we should be paranoid during Mercury retrograde. I think we should just pay attention. And we should just double check, right? It's like if you're going to purchase something, then just double check that it's actually good for you. Double check the thing that you're purchasing. Make sure there isn't something wrong with it, right? And you'll be fine. I always tell people, I've bought plenty of things. I had a computer for like 10 years that I bought during a Mercury retrograde. So, just double check that everything is correct before you take it home, right? But here, I would just make sure you're not buying things that you don't need, and make sure you're not going to regret any purchases, with that energy there. And with the Four of Cups, you have the Justice card, balance. I definitely feel divorce energy here. So for those of you going through a divorce, there could be a separation. For others, I feel like you're just balancing things out in your life in general. A much better return here is what I see for you as well, on your energy. I feel like for some of you, it's like you're receiving a better, the energy that you put into things, I feel like you're receiving a better return back with the Justice card here, so I like to see that. By the way, the Tower could just be a move, so wouldn't really surprise me if some of you were moving or traveling. Tower also reminds us you have all these eights here, two eights here, the eight, and then the Eight of Swords here as well. The Tower can be, especially in a row like this with the Eight of Swords, it basically could say that we're only looking at one way of doing things. This basically says to avoid a tower moment, make sure you're looking at multiple ways of doing things. Pretty much every single reading I did for the middle of September, pretty much everybody had the Eight of Swords. And I was saying to everybody, Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde says that there is not only one way of doing things. So if you're trying to accomplish something, reach a goal, go on a date, doesn't matter what you're trying to do, I'd say don't stick to the same old tricks, right? Try new things, try different ways of doing things, and you'll be a lot more successful. And you'll be able to avoid a tower moment in the first place. So, that's what I'll say there. And don't be afraid of learning new ways to do things as well. That's what I got. But let's pull 3 yes or no question cards here, Pisces. This looks pretty good. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. So feel free to pause this reading if you need time to think your questions 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to do yes or no questions here. So and if you don't have questions, that's fine too. I'm going to put them all together at the end. For question number 1, you have the Two of Swords. I feel like you need to make a decision. I should really call this yes, no, maybe, especially for cards like this. Two of Swords to me says you need to make a decision to move away from where you have been for a very long period of time. So this to me is indecision, and to me indecision could be manifesting in your life, as well, like physically. You could be having like migraines, tension, things like that because of not making a decision. And trust me, I'm a Pisces. I'm extremely indecisive, right? Or I used to be, but I've worked on it, and I used to get migraines all the time. This is why I'm saying it, because, that's what you kind of attributed it to. And I just feel like you need to pick the new path is what this is saying. For question number 2, I would say yes, 6 of Pentacles. I feel like you're going to get a good return on whatever your question is. And for question number 3, I would say yes, Queen of Wands, go for it. Queen of Wands says charge forward boldly. And this whole entire thing says take a risk. I feel like your whole entire reading is saying that something is worth the risk as well. So don't be afraid to take a risk at this time. To me, the risk that you are taking looks more based off of a project or something that's going to affect you on a personal level. There is a little bit of love here. For the most part, I would say this reading is all about you, Pisces. And I feel like what it's saying is that taking a personal risk would be a good idea. Maybe you're going to put yourself on YouTube. Maybe you're going to join a public speaking class. Maybe you're going to put yourself out there in some way. Any type of risk that you possibly think of, I would do it. I feel like you're going to be rewarded here with that Queen of Wands. But this looks like a pretty good reading here, Pisces. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.